Chris Black.
Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kadash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I honor you brothers out there teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. And here we go, man. Look, 3 years ago, he made the video, and it made me research the term, and that's when I found out that it's an anti-Semitic term. It's an anti-Semitic doctrine. Right, but you don't see him coming up against the state of Israel, right, when they specifically make videos against this ideology. All over YouTube, you're gonna see rabbis, Israelis making videos against this ideology, and you don't see him apologetic, do you, against them, right, when they are in the name of Zionism kicking families out their houses, murdering people, killing people in that name to this day. He has nothing to say. And today, when he do his live, he better address it, because that's a much bigger issue than the Hebrew Israelites. We ain't killing nobody. We ain't got no military. We're not dropping bombs on nobody's apartment buildings. We're not blowing up no hospitals. Surely that is a much bigger issue than the Hebrew Israelites. Let's play.
Asked the following question, quote, "Who are the true children of Israel?" End quote. So I decided to reply, and I answered, the church. Chris Black quickly responded, quote,
The church is Israel, because the true church, which the word church shouldn't be in the Bible, right? The word there is congregation. The true holy congregation is only Israelites. All right? What they call a church is not what the scriptures is talking about. The scriptures is talking about that congregation. The believers were and can only be Israelites. All right? In fact, let me see if I can find that video. I'll see if I can show it.
Theology, Abu, end quote. I proceeded to give him some verses which I felt supported my position, but the short exchange inspired me to make a short video on the subject, and that's this video you're watching right now. So in this video, I'd like to briefly discuss so-called replacement theology. Now, while I personally think that name is a bit misleading or a bit of a misnomer, I'll nonetheless...
You don't like the name because the name has been demonized by the JOO. So you want to tap dance.
Clarify that the position...
That's exactly what you're doing. You're replacing the Israelite nation as the seed of the Most High, the chosen one, with an amalgamation of heathens based upon whatever, I don't know.
I hold to is that according to the New Testament, the true Israel is the church. Now, some might immediately want to ask, which church do you mean? And the gentleman I just mentioned, Chris Black, asked precisely...
So you can go and watch that. Like, so he firmly believes in replacement theology, which is against Zionism. Yet you don't see him apologetic against the Israeli state, all right, and their crimes. Right, I can't even find. You know what? It's not that I can't find it. They deleted all them videos that I did on my last channel, so I'm gonna redo it now. The word church shouldn't be in the Bible. All right. So no, the church isn't Israel. The congregation has always been Israel. All right. So it says, should ecclesia really be translated as church in the Bible? So it says translations can obscure things instead of revealing them. Today I want to tackle the word church that we find in Paul's letters. An Italian proverb says to translate is to betray. This is even more true when translations become traditional, fixed, and sacred. People can think that a translation is the original. A translation is never a substitute for the original. In the modern English, the noun church has a range of meanings. It primarily refers to a building for public worship, while at other times it's synonymous with Christianity in the sense of a church, the church universal. Finally, it can mean a denomination. Significantly, none of these meanings correspond to the Greek word ecclesia, traditionally translated church. In the Septuagint, the Greek translation of the Hebrew scriptures. The Greek ecclesia translates the Hebrew qahal, which means an assembly or gathering, right? It's the holy assembly, the holy gathering, the people, the Israelites. Judges 20:2 illustrates this meaning. The chiefs of all the people of all the tribes of Israel presented themselves in the assembly of the people of God for 100,000 men on foot that drew the water. Right? It's all about the Israelites, man. New Testament usage follows the Septuagint. The basic meaning of the Greek ecclesia is assembly or gathering. In ordinary Greek, it most often refers to the citizens of a city gathering to decide political issues, and less frequently to an assembly of the devotees of God. Gathering works as a gloss in every usage in the New Testament is much better than the traditional church, because the modern meaning of church does not align with the ancient Greek. Church is an ecclesial word, while gathering is neutral. Ecclesia is not a religious word, right? Now, if we go into the word church, you will see how you understand that meaning now. So they translate church as ecclesia, which is a gathering, a called out, right? People called out into a gathering, right? Which always was used. Let's just get any scripture here. The reason they put the church in there is because they wanted to reinforce that institution that they created, that they call the church. That's why vocab's like, oh, well, there's different churches. Which church? Listen, there's only one congregation of the elect, all right, of Israel. It can't be multiple, right? I might have took down my channel, man. I had a lot of good videos there, but it's all good. Right, so here we have it, ecclesia, right? It says the gathering of citizens called out from their homes into some public place, an assembly of people convened at a public place of the council for the purpose of deliberating, the assembly of the Israelites. And that's what it's talking about, right? In gathering or throng of men assembled by chance tumultuously, in a Christian sense, an assembly of Christians, right? Well, the Christians are Israelites that are anointed, gathered for worship in a religious meeting, a company of Christian or of those who hoping for eternal salvation through Yahweh Mashiach observe their religious lives, blah, 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 blah. Now, if we go into, I wonder if they've got the Qahal. We'll go to the Qahal, how this word, the Hebrew equivalent of this word, is used throughout the scriptures. And by the way, it means called, it breaks down as called out. Yeah? That's out and to call. And we're going to remember that, what it means. All right? Right, so this is the Hebrew word for ecclesia. Right? An assembly, a company, a congregation, convocation. Right? Right? So it means an assembly. But in a spiritual sense, it was always used in regards to the Israelite. All right, so if you look here, it says congregation assembly, as an assembly, a crowd of nation, especially the congregation of the people of Israel. All right. So when you read in the scripture, like anywhere where the Lord was gathering together people, an assembly or anything holy, it was always in regards to the Israelites. Always. Because the Lord isn't dealing with the other nations. The assembly of people that he deals with is the Israelites. Now we can prove that. Who is the called of the Lord? Because remember, ecclesia means to call out, right? That's how you're part of the so-called church. You're called out, innit? Isaiah 48:12. Hearken unto me, O Jacob and Israel, my called. I am he, I am the first, I also am the last. So the called of the Lord are the Israelites. All right? and always has been. So the assembly in the new covenant is the same assembly as the old covenant. Only difference being that the assembly in the new covenant are only the faithful, the believers in the Father through the Son. But it's the same people. It hasn't replaced anyone. It's the same people being redeemed. Case in point, Peter, Paul, who were they? And what does it say in John the 11th chapter? He will not save that nation also, but also the children of God who are scattered abroad. James 1:1 to the 12 tribes scattered abroad. It's all about the Israelites, man. All right. But the point is that he has this stance of replacement theology. Let's see if he's going to address that in terms of the Israeli state. Because according to the doctrine of replacement theology, 1948 was a crime. And their establishment is a crime and a blot. So let's see.